Hi, I'm Kevin Wagner, and I am sharing one more concern I have with our village council here in Ada, Ohio. I'm going to start out with talking about me. This is my address, 311 East Lincoln Avenue. This is from the 2024 Water Consumption Report. It shows I have what is called a 5/8 inch meter. That is the average meter. This is the most readers. It's for residences. It showed in 2024 that I used 29 units of water. That's 2,900 cubic feet of water. And this is the average use, which is 2. Now, should you divide 29 by 2, you get 14.45 months. It basically shows that I was, hang on a second, 29 divided by 12 is what I should have done. And there, I averaged 2.41666 per month. And that's rounding down to 2. So that's what the 29 and 2 is all about. And that's true. I used water every single month. Now, I'm going to talk about a village councilor named Jeff Oestreich, if I pronounced it correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. So, let me go get that. Now, I whited out Jeffrey Oestreich's address because people go crazy about that. When I grew up, we all got a book every year or so that had everybody's name, address, and telephone number in it, unless you paid them not to put it in. And it doesn't bother me. People know where I live. I have nothing to hide. But I'm going to white it out. So here it is. Now this is from the Hardin County website, the Board of Elections, and it just shows that the Jeffrey Oestreich votes here. That's all I want to share, is that I got the address. Now, from that address, I went and got his usage. Alright, again, I've whited out the addresses section because they get upset. Now, you remember when I did my math, I took 16 divided by 2 and it came out with 14, and that kind of showed that I averaged it was like 2.41, yeah, here it is, 2.416 and 2/3. Now, him on the other cast, he averaged 3 units a month, but only had 16 units. Now, that's quite a bit less than 29. So, that makes me wonder he wasn't there that whole time, and it makes sense because if you divide 16 by 3, you get 5.333. So I think he lived there at best 5 months. Maybe less, depending on if he's not a conservative. And I don't have access to billing records to prove it. I don't have access to any other records. And I don't have any other address for Jeffrey Oestreich. I may tomorrow. I saw an advertisement where I can do background checks up to 100 for $5 with this service for a trial. And I may just do that just to see what I can find out more about Mr. Oestreich and where he lives. I do not know if he's on the upcoming ballot after his term ends. I don't know, and it's irrelevant. Now, so he didn't live there the whole year. This brings up this. One moment. I'm going to pause that because that's not what I wanted. Alright, I'm back. Now, this is from legal counsel because I had my concerns about, well, he doesn't live here. Is he allowed to be a counselor here? Well, this is when I got a reply from legal counsel. Jane Napier. You can see more about her. I have another video where I didn't call her a very kind name. But anyway, copied me an email, current member of council. Here she lists her qualifications. She's been legal counsel for Ada since 1996, and she has been the Champaign Assistant County Prosecutor. Well, she doesn't say it, but it is Champaign County since 2009. I have reviewed the issue of residency numerous times over the years. Okay, although I could respond with the reasoning why you were uninformed. Now, this is a red flag to me. If she could explain to me how I am horribly wrong, she would have. She says she could. Maybe she can't and is lying about being able that she could. I don't know. But I do know this. The more I dig into these folks, the more I don't like what I find. Alright, hang on. And here she goes, although I could respond, I will just put you in the Attorney General's opinion 93-055, which she attached. Let me go find what she, oh actually it's right here. Here's what she attached. Let's go to the top. Now, I am talking about a village counselor. What she sent me does not seem to be about a village counselor. For the purpose of an appointment to a Board of Township Zoning Appeals. Is that village counselor? No, it is not. She lists this other ones, an individual as a resident. Now it goes on with a lot more things, and I read most of it. But again, it says Board of Zoning Appeals. I have advised the trustees, and then more and more. The term resident, defined 519 as stated, and the word resident has many meanings, largely determined by statute of which it is used. And that's the point I'm on. She is citing when in regards to township zoning appeals. Let's look, and there is a Ohio Revised Code regarding village counselors. It's this one. 731.12, qualification of members of village legislative authority. Again, zoning appeals, types of resident, and then this is all about a Board of Zoning Appeals. If there is a citation showing where it applies to a village counselor, it is not included in the text of her email, and it's not included in this attachment. See, again, the conclusion. It is therefore my opinion that you are hereby advised for that the purpose of an appointment to a Board of Zoning Appeals, Township Zoning Appeals. See, they're being specific. They're not listing others. So I believe this ruling is only about it. Now, if they have another case law or another ruling to show that it applies to village counselor, I think it does. I think they should have been able to present it. Now, at any rate, let's go to this one. Qualifications. This one just says, resided in the village 1 year immediately preceding the members shall be an elector of the village. Now, if I do a search, what? Look what it brings up. Here's the one that I have. That's the one I showed you. Section 31.12. Now, there's Office Village Officer Handbook. I didn't look at that. Must have continuously lived in the village for 12 months. Must be, yeah, it is this. No other public office. Now, I'm going to ask AI a question. Here we go. Now, this is a result from AI. I don't have specific case law or specific cases to cite. I believe it is accurate, and I believe this a whole lot more than our legal counsel. You may call me crazy, but it seems to match up with the law when I go to read it in it, which again it states 73.12. Must live in for a minimum of 1 year directly before the election. And here's the point where this is saying it. Ongoing registry. If a council moves out of the village at any point during their term, they automatically forfeit their office. So let's learn deeply about this by searching things. We're going to grab it. We're going to take law citation 4. Okay, this is what it says, the law says. Any member who ceases to possess any of such qualifications or removes from the village shall forfeit their office. Now, let's go back to the law and see if it says that. And it does. Any member who ceases to possess any of such qualification or who removes from the village shall forfeit the member's office. That's what the law says. So, I asked the mayor whether or not Jeffrey Oestreich should even be a counselor, because the consumption report shows he didn't live there the whole year. Or he lived there without using any water. And that, to me, is just not credible. The devil's in the details. And the more details I find out about these folks, the more questions I have. The mayor got angry when I mentioned it, the possibility of corruption. Well, here's one more thing that looks corrupt to me. And the village council, well, we read her email, and apparently her attachment does not even refer to township officials. I hope somebody, I'm going to keep this up. I still want to talk about the township administrator and how she has yet to comment on the rigged water pricing scam of the over-under model. I asked her about mathematics and the revenue, and she went off the rails and talked about cost, and things went downhill from there, because her next email she said something and I didn't believe her because the first one was so full of malarkey. That's my next video. Well, I'm going to keep plugging until they kill me. You have a good one.